Okay, we are back. It is time for another episode of Ink Transfer Drawing with Mark Zimmerman. My name is Mark Zimmerman and I am rolling ink on a sheet of plexiglass. I'm going to drop a piece of paper on top of that ink and then draw and rub on the back of that paper, transferring ink to the front, which is face down right now. I don't want the paper to move much. I get little smudges if it moves. So I'm going to tape it down. The ink is inside a rectangle of tape, and I can find the corner and then drag this pen along the edge of that tape. I can feel the tape. There we go. I'm going to draw, let's see here. I'm going to just go a little bit left to center, down maybe a tiny bit. Draw a little curve over. I'm going to get a bridge too, so I can reach out there and if I set my hand down, I transfer ink as well. So I'm looking at a photograph. So I'm just drawing what I see, the way I see it, in my style. Another artist would draw very differently. It's part of what makes art and drawing fun. Every artist has his own style. Ink transfer for me kind of becomes a exercise in Scribble, so I'm kind of scribbling here. That's a dark shape. Especially dark up in here. So lots of lines, real dense network of lines to create that black I want up in there. There we go. All right. Kind of squiggly lines, lots of little squiggly lines here. I think I want to do something else before I get too carried away here. Let's come back here and I'm going to squiggle a little line in there off the bottom of this curve. I'm coming down, across and up. All right, little bumps. So I see a bump on the photograph and I make a bumpy line on the paper. real light pressure there, so I'm hoping to transfer less ink there. Well, let's go from here up here. What does that do? Okay. I'm looking at here, let's set it right there. Looking at a Longhorn steer skull. So, I don't know what those are, what part of the skull that is, but I see it, so I just draw what I see. I don't have to know. Okay. Really dark here. That's that nasal cavity, I suppose. That's what you would call that. And there's no light shining in that. It's kind of a dark photograph, so it's a little hard to see. But I'm going to build up quite a bit of dark in there. And then little squiggly lines. I love the squiggles. Broken squiggles even better. Oh, didn't mean to put a little tail on that one. Alright, let's go back to where we started. I think that's the other eye socket over there, huh? Right off my paper. Take a look, see where this ends before I have to get there. So there's a shadow in here. I'm going to kind of scribble in. It's dark up in here. Tips of the horns are black, it looks like. Oh, I should have part of my head with thinking about what to do about a background, huh? See if I can draw a background sideways too. First thing I'm going to do is maybe put a little shadow right here too. And then I'm going to put some shadow down underneath it too, and I can just do that with my finger. Just kind of thinking about what a shadow might look like underneath that thing. Let's put a ridge line back in there, and let's see, light seems to be coming this way, so we'll give those ridges shadows on that side. And probably should have a bottom on that ridge. And boy, I don't think I need much. Just a little suggestion of I don't think there's a lot of grass here, so I'm just going to suggest that there's a little bit of sage. And just put a little wind in the sky. Let's just put a little okay. Let's sneak a peek, see what we have. You never really know what goes on underneath there. Yeah, I think we're good. I'm going to splash a little watercolor on it next, so I'm going to get this ink out of here. There he is. You'll notice that an ink transfer comes out backwards. Nothing anyone can do about that. Alright. Let's get some really light blue. Get my pen out of here. Let's see, kind of a blue violet it looks like. Let's pick up a little more blue. Okay. Okay. Just painting shadows. I drew some of the shadows, so I don't have a lot to do with shadows. There we go. Let's get a little bigger brush. Paint that foreground. We can get this out of here. I've got liquid watercolor. Well, I've got tube watercolor in a liquid form. They're sitting over here in little cups. So they're really quick and easy to get to. I'm going to turn this because I want to point the brush at this line. And that line. So I don't really need to worry much about the shadow of the skull. That kind of takes care of itself. I did that with the ink. So I can paint right over that shadow that I did with the ink. Okay. Let's just keep our exciting color scheme going. Kind of have gray and an earth tone. Let's get another earth tone here. Earth tones are quite literally mud, dirt. This is raw sienna, or burnt sienna rather. The first one was yellow ochre. Here's a burnt sienna. Burnt sienna just originally came from Siena, Italy, and the burnt sienna they just toasted up and made it a little darker. So this is, I don't know if they're still digging it up in Siena, but any dirt that color will work, I think. Let's soften that border here a little bit. Drag some of that sienna down in there. Drag some of it down in here. Let's get a little bit of brush. A teeny bit of green here. See if I can dance that in. Oh, that's dark. That's a lot of green, Mark. That'll never work. Oh, no, it will. Just keep spreading it out. Maybe I'll be okay. We just need a sky. Let's pick up a little bit of paint there. We'll just pick it up and then that's just water. Water is kind of my white. I don't actually have white pigment. Most watercolor painters don't use it. I'll give you a little turquoise sky here. So I always sign them in pencil. And I had a professor who said, just call them what they are. That way you'll know what they're called. So we're going to call this we'll call it Longhorn. And sign it. Date it 2020. And there's Longhorn. Hope you had fun watching. I had fun playing around. Till next time.